Hi, I'm Daniele Piani, General Manager of Topi, and today I would like to introduce the master inverter with the dusting cabin. This machine is an automatic pallet changer. It means you introduce the pallet inside the cabin, okay? In this side, for example, is the gray area. Introduce the pallet, the wooden pallet there. Automatically, the machine recognizes the height of the pallet and the kind of the pallet and transfer from the wooden pallet to the aluminum pallet. In the meantime, we have the air shower to remove the pounder, and we vacuum the pounder and we filter, we use HEPA filter and we filter the air and we remove the dust around the pallet. The machine is full automatically. We have the PLC with different programs. We can adjust the side compactor. It means we can adjust the pressure of the side compactor, and we push all the material. For example, we have boxes, we have drums, we have wheels, bottles, and in few seconds. This is the frame of the machine. It means we have this trolley that is moving from one section to another section. This is the chain that is coming from one side when you have to push from one area to another area, and is coming down from the other side if you want to push from this section to this section. This machine is two-way. It means you can introduce the pallet from the warehouse to the production and vice versa. And automatically, the machine, we have a pneumatic cylinder here. The system recognizes the height of the pallet, and we push a little bit high the pallet, the sender pallet to the receiving pallet, in order to push from up, to push well from one pallet to another one. Now we are in the factory for the factory approval test. It means now we are testing the machine in our factory. When you install the machine, everything is closed by panel, and the filters and the vacuum system is covered by panel that close everything around. Now I would like to show you how it's on the top. On the top of the machine, we have a very big fan that blow air, vacuum the pounder, filter with HEPA filter, and in order to avoid that pounder can be out from the doors that are closing during the dusting cycle, we have a fan that make a vacuum in order to have 50% of the pressure inside the chambers. As you can see, all the electric components are first class. We have the PLC from Siemens, and we have the inverter. With inverter, we can adjust the speed of the motors and the machine. With inverter, also we can adjust the quantity of the air for the air shower. And with a simple, the system there with the SIMATIC, we can choose the program. As you can see, the pallet is already inside. It's very easy with this kind of platform to introduce the pallet by simple pallet jack or lift truck. When you introduce the pallet, then you can start with the cycle. Now for the operator, it's enough to push this button and automatically the machine close the door. Start with the dusting. We remove the pounder now. And now the machine is settled to take the goods from this area and to push to the other area. Now the trolley is coming closer. They stop, they reduce the speed, they stop automatically. And now it's ready to push from the wooden pallet to the aluminum pallet. The machine automatically recognizes the height and adjusts the height of the pallet. Now is ready to push from one pallet to another one. Done. As you can see here, we have the 3 fan for more than 5,000 meter cube per hour of air. We blow the air over the materials, and we vacuum for we have a 4 column for vacuum the pounder. We blow air from the top and we vacuum from the bottom. This grid is for make the pressure. It means 20% is adjustable. We can vacuum the air that we have inside the chamber in order to do that we have the pressure inside the dusting chamber. First, the operator loads the wooden pallet in this section. Automatically, the photocell recognizes the height of the pallet and adjusts the wooden pallet a little bit higher than the aluminum pallet. This height regulation is done by 2 pneumatic cylinders. After this operation, the fan blows air for few seconds. You can adjust the time, maybe 30-40 seconds. We blow air. We have more than 5,000 meter cube of air, and we vacuum the pounder for the 4 column. Okay, and we have the ring. We close the ring. It means we we blow air and we vacuum the pounder. We have a HEPA filter for close the ring. In order to have the pressure, we have this grid with another fan. We vacuum 20% of the air inside of the circuit in order to have the pressure is inside the chamber. It means first air, then we clamp the materials and we push from this pallet to this wooden pallet to the aluminum pallet. Now the operator opens the door in the production and is ready to take the aluminum pallet to the production. The master inverter is a really airlock. It means it's a bypass chamber from the production area and the warehouse. Now the pallet is there, is already done, is ready for the shipment, and we have to transfer from this area, from the white area, to the delivery pallet, to the wooden pallet. The operator simply introduces the pallet, open the door, introduce the pallet inside this section, and then the machine clamp on the side and push on the back to the wooden pallet. Now the purpose is to transfer from the aluminum pallet to the delivery pallet to the wooden pallet. The operator in the white area have already introduced the pallet in this section. The operator in the gray area put the pallet there. And now, very simply, the operator push the button, we automatically close the door, and the machine recognize the height of the pallet, and start to push from this section to this section. In few seconds, the machine recognizes the pallet, adjust the height, close the side wall, and transfer the materials over the delivery pallet. Perfectly done. Now the machine is ready for the next operation. As you could see, this is a perfect machine for the pharmaceutical industry. It means it's a real bypass machine, it's an airlock from the warehouse to the production. You have 2 machines in one. You have the dusting cabin, a pallet changer online. Perfect for heavy duty and continuous work.